Alternate Roots is a member service organization that's based in the South, 14 states from Maryland to Texas and the District of Columbia, that serves and supports artists that are doing work at the intersection of arts and activism. And one of our hallmark programs is the Community Artist Partnership Program. And that program was founded in the early 90s, and it really is focusing on that relationship between the community and the artist, and how that partnership evolves, and supporting that partnership, realizing that the work that we do is most often in partnership, trying to create solid partnerships, understand the dynamics of power, creating good communication changes, and really trying to establish a baseline for artists to understand and for community members to understand how to best utilize this partnership to support the issues in their community. I think ultimately the impact is that we're not so much focused on the issue, a particular issue. That's important, but what's more important is that we're helping to build relationships that then can address whatever issues that community faces. So it's not about a particular issue, but it's about developing the type of skills and relationships that you need to deal with whatever issues arise in your community. We encourage partnership. I mean, that's, to me, in my own personal work, it's the most important thing that I do. Everything that I do as an artist is as a collaborator or partner. And the work that we do specifically in engaging community, there's no way to do the work without partnership. So that's the focal point for us. And we think it's really important for the partners to lay it all out on the table and be together in the development of the objectives and what it is that they want to accomplish in this community with this particular project, and defining how the finances will be raised, how they will be spent, ultimately who the audiences that are and communities that they're trying to serve, that's not an artist taking their project to a community, but it's an artist and a community entity working together to design a project that addresses an issue that they're both passionate about. Why don't we see everybody's cards? Why don't we put it all on the table? What is it that you have to walk away with? I'll tell you what I need out of this relationship. You need to hear what you need out of this relationship, and then we can find out where we're close to each other, where we're right on target with each other, and where we're not so close, and then spend time really finding some equitable ways to do that work and getting everybody on the same page, so that everybody, we run into issues when we bring our agendas to a meeting or to a room, but we don't show those agendas to the other people in the room. And so we hide these agendas, and we do things that are promoting an agenda that nobody else knows about. So it may seem strange that I asked or invited this person into the room, but it's really because I want them to help me get something done. Ultimately, you have to be realistic about your capacity. And I think many organizations overestimate their capacity to do the work from the beginning. So the dreams are like, yeah, well, we're going to have this, and it's going to be this, and it's going to be so great, and we're going to have 5,000 people show up, and blah, 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 blah. And in reality, you're going to have maybe 200, and it's going to be a lot more work than you thought in the beginning. So I think what we have, and we have a toolkit that anybody can use. It's not, we designed it and developed it, but it's open to the community. It's open source. It actually was designed by a professor at Virginia Tech named Bob Leonard, and a number of other people who were involved with Roots for a long time. But it's a partnership kit, and it asks you some really hard questions, and it's very kind of corporate style. And I think that's what we've got to work on, is actually making this language that people can understand, and making it a tool that people are not afraid to use. But ultimately, it asks you a lot of questions about, what type of partnership are you looking to have? Like, who makes the decisions? Who makes decisions about money? Within this project, who's going to have the decisions about artistic direction? Who's going to, when the chips are down, do you have the facilities to do the project that you're looking to do? Development-wise, who's going to fund this work? Is it, like, ultimately, at the end of the day, what is it that you hope to have achieved? And these are questions that you get into long before you even write a proposal. And so it causes you to think in a lot of different areas that you don't normally think about. And so, to me, I would say, be realistic with what your capacity is, and don't overestimate your ability to do the work, and don't underfund what you know you need to do to make it happen. So there's really no shortcuts. If it's a $30,000 project and you only got $15,000, you might want to find a way to scale the project down to be a $15,000 project rather than try to do the 30,000 with the 15, because ultimately everyone's going to lose, and artists are not going to get paid. Communities won't get stipend for their work, and the quality of it will not be what it needs to be. Even though we have played a regranting role, part of the funding also supports a mentor, so which is supposed to be an arbitrary third party that can look at the project and look at the relationships and make intervene where needed, but also be that third eye to say, hey, I don't know what you guys got out of that, but this is what I saw. And just to provide those observations. So we have funded that as part of our projects in the past, and so we would get a report back from the project director, but we would also get this other report from the mentor that would give this third observation outside our perspective of what happened and what they thought were positive, negatives, things that need to change. I think it's a mirror of the learning that happens in community. It helps us in understanding our own process internally of how to build long-lasting, healthy, sustainable relationships, whether that be with our members, or whether that's with foundation people, whether that's with the local state art agencies, or just people that we're running into that we inhabit the same building with. And it's just a practice of how to engage community that we use in every aspect of our work. So it's not just in a project setting, it is just the way that we want to walk through the world. And I think ultimately that's what's reflected